everyone. Welcome back to Open Remote. Our next guest is an artist from Ghana who uses art as a tool for self expression, creating awareness, and transforming society. His work is known to reflect social justice and the phenomena of globalization. He recently finished his residency with Bronx Art Space, and his work has been featured internationally on CNN and in the Afro Caribbean Design Festival in London. Today, he's here to talk about his latest work reflecting Black Lives Matter. Please welcome Musah Swallah. Hello, Musah.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate your time.
So you were endearingly referred to as Baba Musah Swallah. Can you elaborate on the term Baba for us?
Yeah. So I inherited the name Musa from my grandfather. So my parents don't call me direct by the name Musa. They call me Baba just to show a respect to my grandfather. So that's the reason why any African that has a name Baba means they're just showing a respect to the grandfather. So my parents don't call me direct Musa, they call me Baba Musa, meaning Father Musa. Yeah, so that's what it means.
I've always wanted to know why some people use Baba. So thank you for that. That short, sweet, and but informative African lesson right there. And so I have a question with regards to your work and the reference of globalization or the phenomenon of globalization and what inspires it. Obviously, you have been designing work that is geared towards social consciousness. We are dealing with a major crisis right now with racial inequities, and your work reflects that. I know that we have a beautiful image we're going to show with a young lady with a mask, and then all African figures or African American figures. But what I'm most interested in knowing is the layering of your work and what inspires your storytelling in the style in which you execute.
Yeah, so for me as an artist, I started by like painting on canvas, painting on like papers, and so 10 years ago, I decided to like move from painting on canvas to wood. And the inspiration behind me painting on wood was one day I went to a fishing community in Ghana where I went closer to the fishermen and women. I saw them how they were building their boats. So I got inspired how they like have a very huge wood that they build their boat from. So I got inspired how people can just like cut pieces of wood, join them together, carve some part of it, cut some part of it, paint some part, and also like build a boat out of it. So I was so inspired. So that's where I got my idea of like painting on wood. So me as an artist, I feel like okay, I can also do something like what they are doing. So when I came back to my studio, I gathered some wood, which I started working on. So I was like carving on wood. So I carved some part of the wood, I applied paint, and also um, I put on some texture like some fabric,
Right.
some metals, some nails, some plastic and some bottle covers. So that's how I started doing my work. So when you see my painting physical, you can feel the layers, and when you touch it, you can feel the textures as well. So that's how I do my work.
Also, it's wonderful. So you're one of those artists that allows people to touch the paintings when it's on exhibition,
Yeah, I mean,
when it's being exhibited.
yeah, I don't have a problem because anytime people come to shows that my work is being exhibited, they just want to touch it. They want to feel what are some of the materials I use. Are they real, or I just like paint them? So most people, anytime they come to my show, they just want to touch it. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
Let, now let's talk about your form of using this as a means of protesting and being your social awareness voice.
So like the painting behind me, I painted this painting 3 years ago when I arrived in the United States. A couple of friends of mine took me to the Women's March, which happened 3 years ago. So that's where I got the idea, and that was my first time to see a very huge crowd of people like protesting and marching, and having their sign, the placards, and everything just to get their voice out there. So I got an idea and also inspired by how I saw all these ladies coming out to protest for calling out for justice in the system. So me as an artist, I feel like, okay, what I can do is also to also display,
Protest.
yeah, and also protect my work through my paintings. So
Right.
that's how I feel like also like journalists are doing their best reporting about what is going on around the world, protesting in their own way. For me as an artist, I also feel like I need to do something. So that's how I also started incorporating this kind of ideas and images in my artwork.
And so, in this particular time capsule that we're living, how has it impacted your work? Because again, I noticed that you have a lot of gold in your work, and so I just wondered, like, what is it that's going through your mind that allows you to, yes, relay this message of this particular era, of this particular time period, but yet give it a sense of, I want to say, hope. Like, there's something in it that elevates and presents this regal outcome.
Yeah, so for me as an artist, I think mural is one of the biggest platform that artists can also like display their work out there to the public. Most people don't have the time or maybe the opportunity to go into people's studio in terms of the kind of work that you are producing. So for me as an artist, I feel like making murals in public in our own city is one of the easiest ways so that people can also feel and see how artists are working. Some people, they don't like respect the kind of work that artists do in order to create a piece. So I use this platform, especially like when I was doing this mural, I was making a live video and people were like, wow, we didn't know that you guys put a lot of time and a lot of energy in producing your work.
Are
So
we referencing the mural with the half the hands
yeah, the mural with
and
the
the
hand.
eye?
Yeah, the mural I did with the hand was a recent mural that I did with a friend of mine from El Salvador. So I was just working on, and I was like, okay, I need to make this bigger so that people can see what I was trying to portray. So yes, we artists, we also have a say, and the way we can have a say to the general public or to the people on the bigger platform is to also use our arts to show our protest. So that was one of the reasons behind some of the works that I started about protesting about Black Lives Matters and also about the social injustice and also about women in general who are vulnerable, especially the young women who are very vulnerable in the society. So that's one of the reasons why I started moving towards this kind of direction.
Beautiful, with the spiritual component, I may add. So before we go, where can people go and see this mural that has been created?
Yeah, so I visited my wife in Washington D.C. and I had the opportunity to create this painting in Washington D.C. So at this moment, I still have the painting, and other two people also commissioned me after I finished this mural. So I'm still here in Washington D.C. where I'm also going to create another two different murals before I return back to the Bronx. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we look forward to when you get back to us and bring it back home. All right, Musa?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, good for you. I'm glad you're out there making your voice heard in DC. They certainly need to listen.
Yeah, yeah. That's where the big men and women are here. So I mean, I'm happy I'm doing this in Washington D.C. so they can see that yeah, we our life really matters. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. Once again, you guys, for more on Musah Swallah and his artwork, you can check out his Instagram at b.musah. That's Musah. All right, don't go anywhere. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.